G'day, welcome back to the pod. This is the week 2 review of the 2025 fantasy season. I'm Kale of the Fantasy Farmers podcast. That is not Taff. That's the guy from the practice squad. We've brought him in. He's on a snap count tonight, but we're going to keep him fresh. Daryl?
No, thankfully I'm not Taff. I'm obviously got more hair, taller, better looking, smarter, funnier, stronger, you name it. I'm better. And this is definitely not the third attempt at this. Definitely not.
Yeah, a few technical difficulties, but we're powering through, or starting again. So the main takeaway of the first game, so Washington v Green Bay. My main takeaway is if you've got a guy that's in flex consideration and they're playing against Green Bay, I think they're a guy you've got to keep on the bench and look to start someone else. That defense is looking the best in the league by some distance.
Yeah, super solid defense. I've watched both games that the Packers have played, and they are looking legit. I would be almost avoiding at all costs, especially if it's at the Lambeau Field there.
Yep. Yeah. And then otherwise on the offense for the Packers, you've got Jacobs and the tight end Kraft that are probably a must-start guys.
Gronk Jr.
Yeah, he's a guy you probably got in your 10th or 11th round in the tight end position. And yeah, for me, he's already a top 5 guy now. Him and Warren have moved right up the board. They were both guys I had as smokies going into the year. So very happy with that video.
Yeah, 100%. He's someone that if you've got him, you're laughing. If you don't have him, it's probably going to be too much to pay up and get him now. But
correct, yeah.
No, they look really good. Josh Jacobs, he's going to get the touches. There's going to have a lot of competition in there. So barring injury or anything like that, he's definitely someone you can rely on to give you that 15 roughly each week or better.
Yeah. So yeah, 23 touches, no targets this game, but yeah, 14 points, very solid.
Yeah, you take that every week, don't you?
Yeah. And the wide receivers, so no one's really stood out here, but the main takeaway is Golden. He's had a rough start to his year, but as a first-round rookie pick, I think he's someone that should be able to continue to increase his volume as the year goes on. Someone that didn't break out to the second half of last year in college when he got more opportunities. So hopefully he does the same thing.
You can't train that sort of speed. You know, he's going to get the opportunities. They're trying to get him in the game now, but he's someone that maybe not coming in the first month of the season, maybe not even the second month, but he's someone that if you stashed him on the end of your bench, he's going to start coming good later on, and he could be a league winner for you once he starts to really click.
Yeah, definitely. And even we got the Jaden Reed injury. He looks like he's going to be out for some time, so even that might open up some opportunities. But so he's not a bad buy low candidate. Now moving over to Washington, old man Eckler. Looks like it might be the last time we've seen him, unfortunately.
Thought he'll be at the funeral. Drafted him.
I think he's doing it.
Didn't draft him second round this year, thankfully.
I think he said he's doing the eulogy.
Yeah, he should.
But that means those that stuck with the faith, drafted Cross Merritt, probably weathered the storm of a lot of trade offers coming in. He looks like he's going to be a really good starting running back for a top 5 or 10 team now, and that always equals fantasy points. So he should have the first and second down role on lock. It's just the third down role that might be split amongst the other guys, McNichols and Rodriguez.
But that's something though that might develop later in the season as he gets a little bit of connection with Jaden Daniels. You know, once he starts to really show the ability that he has, you know, a 7th round pick. But, teams tend to find running backs here, there and everywhere. But
he's someone he would have been much higher if it wasn't for his college issues. Eligibility.
But he's definitely someone that you'd be wanting to get into your team without paying a stupid price. But I doubt anyone's going to be selling him low at this stage, are they?
But before this week, I sent Addison and Jalen Warren to try and get him. It wasn't enough to get him. And, definitely now he's going to be worth more than that. Now, their wide receivers, you got Fat Debo. He's looking good, but definitely a sell high guy for me. Maybe he can do 14-plus points, but I think the injury risk is just too high there.
Yeah, carrying that sort of weight, moving that fast, you know, there's a bit of a risk there. He might go through the season without injury. Maybe you.
Definitely.
But he might go through the season. He might dominate, but it's a risk. You know, and if you've got him sort of sitting at maybe your wide receiver 2, you know, maybe that top of that flex, he's someone that you might be looking to maybe move off if someone's willing to pay the price, because it's very, obviously very risky.
Yeah, correct. And then the opposite side for me, Terry McLaurin, again, under 10 points.
Scary Terry.
But for me, he's a good buy low candidate. Someone's probably drafted him in the 4th or 5th round and they got no return on investment yet. He's one you can look to go after in week 3.
I had him last season. I think I drafted him around 4th or 5th round, and he started slow and then he came good. I think this year he's probably had more reason to start slow. He's had the contract stuff. He had the ankle injury. He hasn't done any preseason. So once that connection comes, it'll be someone that you want to be having in your team.
He'll be a solid number 2 wide receiver, I think.
Definitely.
And the last consideration is Ertz, the tight end. So he's probably a guy who might be out on waivers. He's a very solid pickup for a guy that either has the Kittle injury or an underperforming tight end. I'd be looking to spend about 20% of the fab. You're thinking a bit lower?
Yeah, a little bit lower. I think you want to be spending big on those premium positions, the running backs and the receivers. So if you can get him in, he's definitely worth having. Those safety blankets for those mobile quarterbacks are always valuable, because once they get out of the pocket, those tight ends usually get into a spot where they can just give them a little bit of an out. So
correct,
definitely worth getting.
Yeah. So that's the first game. We'll now move on to. All right. So next up, because I'm a Cardinals fan, they're number 1 on my sleeper app. So we'll go through the Cardinals-Panthers game. So my main takeaway here is old man Connor. He's gotten lucky with the touchdowns the first 2 weeks, 1 in each game. The touchdown is the difference between him and Benson in scoring at the moment. So I think it's not really a sell high. I think it's just a sell. Try and pivot. I mean, if you can move him to another running back, great. Otherwise, I think the more appropriate move is probably pivoting to a wide receiver in a similar range to a team that needs a running back. And in that same vein, Benson is a buy low for me. I think he has upside if Connor goes down, or just maybe he gets phased out, because Benson is looking very efficient.
They do say Father Time is undefeated, and Connor's coming up that age, that 30, 31, where running backs start to really fall off. Not many even get to that point. So he's someone that's definitely worth trying to look to get out of if you can, because they Arizona spent a 2nd round pick on Benson, so they want to get him in there. That's not someone that they're just going to sort of let rot. They want to get him in. So
correct. And to go over that, for a bit of context, like Benson, a 2nd round pick last year. The 2nd round picks of running backs this year was Judkins, Henderson, and Harvey, and they're all guys everyone was very keen on drafting this year. Obviously, minus the Judkin legal issues. So that's the sort of capital that's been spent on him. So very good capital for a running back, and someone definitely looking to buy low. A comment you made on Harrison, I quite like the comparison. The AJ Brown of Arizona.
Yeah,
I think it's a very good comparison, actually.
He's someone that's going to be he's going to have his big weeks like he did week 1, where he's probably going to get he's going to score and he's going to get a lot of ball. But with those smaller quarterbacks like Kyler Murray, he struggles sometimes to get it out to those bigger guys on the outside. He sort of hits a lot of dink and dunk sort of passes to Trey McBride over the middle or Wilson. So he's someone that you're not going to be able to rely on him week to week, but that's the game you play, I suppose.
Yeah. He's a high upside, high low floor kind of guy. So he might win you a matchup, but he also might lose you one, which he probably won it for you last week and lost it for you this week. And then McBride, you're starting him every week. No need to 100%. Comment there.
Then you got the Panthers. Yep. So obviously Bryce Young, 55 attempts for 35 completions. So that's a lot of volume. Not something you can rely on every week. That's for sure. So a bit like the Saints last week. So those guys that have been catching all them balls. Obviously if you're going to have Ted because he's not falling through, but. And he's a stud, but if you're going to go those Hunter Renfrows, Tremaine, they're not sort of the guys that are going to be able to do it every week for you. So
Hunter Renfrow off the practice squad. He was practicing with you last week, and now he's scoring 2 touchdowns in the NFL.
Yeah.
And you're on the podcast. Look how far you have come.
Beautiful.
But Tet, he's probably a buy high for me, I would say. He's someone, and Taff did a bit of analysis. Another video we're going to come out with soon is wide receiver and running back schedules for the year. And Tet I think the Panthers, if not the best, it's a top 3 wide receiver schedule. So he's looking the goods, and he should only get better as the year goes on, being a rookie. But also,
100%.
he's got a very good schedule for a wide receiver.
Yep. Big frame, ready to go.
Yeah.
And Chuba, obviously, didn't have a hell of a lot on the ground, only 10 carries, but caught a lot of balls, gave you a good score. He's someone that's pretty consistent. I think
he's a good start. Yeah. Very, very safe floor. So that's that game. Now we'll move on to... next up is the Baltimore versus Cleveland. Key takeaway from this one, maybe to go on what you just said, maybe Father Time is undefeated. Henry's gone from 29 points down to 2. And to me, the call I had in the running back video, having Henry as my 11th running back on the year, was I still think when he has the ball, he's going to be unbelievable. But because he slowed down towards the end of last year, I think they were going to look to rest him. And obviously, you're coming up against Cleveland, probably a bottom 3 team, that you don't need to work your best players into the ground in a matchup like this. So
the only thing I would say on that, though, is that Cleveland front 7 is solid. You've probably got Myles Garrett's probably the best defensive player in the game. So, it's probably one game that you're not expecting him to go off his head. He's probably he's obviously a lot lower than you'd expect.
They've matched up really well against him actually the last few times. I have seen as well.
I don't think I wouldn't be panicking by any stretch. Even Lamar Jackson, I think he only had 2 carries for the game. He did it in the air, 4 touchdowns. You'll love to see that. I'm a Zay Flowers owner, so that's always nice. But,
me too, in a different league.
But I don't think I'd be panicking with anything with that. Like Cleveland are a solid defense, and they kept the Bengals quiet last week as well. So
true. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
The Giant Killers, Jamar Chase last week, Derrick Henry this week.
Yeah, that's a good one actually. The Giant Killers. But but I still think, but only the 11 carries anyway. But they look to do it all in the air.
Yep.
I still think that's potentially my take in the preseason, maybe coming to fruition a little bit.
One interesting one I would have, though, with that offense on Baltimore is obviously you got Zay Flowers as probably the main passing
11
threat.
targets,
and they trying to get him a few carries as well. But DeAndre Hopkins is an interesting one where if you're struggling on a bye week or something like that, he's a big red zone target. He's probably overtaken Bateman.
Correct. Yeah.
He's not getting a lot of snaps. He's probably sitting at less than half. But he's someone that definitely could come in and maybe give you a 14 or 15 if he gets a touchdown, and you need to get someone on the field there. So he's not the worst player to get in.
He scored touchdowns both weeks, and he nearly had a second one this game, I think.
I think that lower usage or lower snap count might keep him going this year, so he might not be someone that burns out later in the season, even though he is at an advanced age.
Yeah, correct, yeah. Then otherwise, Mark Andrews or Mandrews, nearly droppable. I mean, if Ertz or Fannin or Juwan Johnson is on your waivers, I'd probably drop Andrews for any one of them. And don't be surprised if no one picks him up.
If Likely was fit, I don't even think Andrews would be playing that much. I think he's just there because they've obviously got the injury there. So I wouldn't be looking to get a hold of him. That's for sure.
Yeah, agree. Yeah,
Cleveland, the
running back,
3-headed monster of running backs. That's a solid running back room.
They've all scored 10 points. Yeah. So, and I think what you can take away from here is Samson got the touchdown. So without the touchdown, he's much lower than the other guys. If you can try and get something for him, that's what I'm going to be trying to do this week as an owner. But otherwise, Judkins, I think he's...
But not Samson for sure.
Yeah, Judkins is looking real nice. Just for the couple of practice sessions and straight in 10 points. He's 6 yards per carry, 3 receptions as well. I might try and buy him, but the guy that took him in our league took him quite high, so might be a bit hard.
He's someone on my dynasty, so I'm pretty high on him. But obviously he's another guy. He's one of my targets, so I'd love to get him. But he's got all of the talent, and I think the opportunity is going to start to come the more the games go along. Like, it's obviously the 3-headed monster this week, but I think the more the season goes on, the more it's going to be Judkins'
I'm surprised
backfield.
Forward, how much he got so much usage. I was surprised considering Samson looked the better last week, but that could be the issue with backfields that have this much.
Sometimes you've got to throw it to who's open as well.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
who's doing the job? Who's hot? Who's the hot hand?
Otherwise, Tillman's had 7 targets, Judy with 8. Tillman got the touchdown though. I think if you can turn him into anything in a trade, I would. Because Flacco, he didn't look good in this game. 45 attempts.
No.
That interception was disgusting.
Great. Yeah.
And
he's got that in him though, Flacco. Yeah, he's always had that in him, even when he was young.
And Gabriel, he actually came in, threw a touchdown towards the end of the game. So he actually could be they might be moving to one of the rookies sooner rather than later, which for any of the Cleveland offense, that's not good news.
I think Tillman especially. Tillman had a pretty good run with has a pretty good rapport with Flacco. Yeah. So if Flacco goes out of the offense, Tillman becomes less viable.
Yeah. And that goes the same for you got the double tight end here with Fannin and Njoku. For me, I've probably got Fannin ahead of Njoku. Maybe not as a player. Njoku's, I would say, probably the better player, but they're just looking to scheme up Fannin a bit more. They're basically playing him as a wide receiver, but he's listed as a tight end in our fantasy league. So I think he's a decent buy, but as soon as they move the quarterback to
one of the rookies,
he's probably not going to be usable, and potentially he might be a droppable candidate. But yeah.
Watch his space.
Yeah, that's it. Moving across to the next one. All right, on to the Bengals versus the Jaguars. Big fantasy takeaways from this game. Burrow.
Turf toe,
yeah, he's done the toe.
Lock toe.
Yeah, his season potentially could be done. He might be back in time for fantasy playoffs, but you wouldn't be starting him coming off the injury, I wouldn't have thought. So if you're in a super flex league, I'd say Jake Browning is a really big pickup. He'll be the number one guy on waivers this week. But otherwise, the rest of the guys, you probably just drop them down a bit, I would say. Jamar Chase is probably a mid wide receiver 1 now. Even though he scored the 36 points this week, I wouldn't expect that.
16 targets, caught 14 of them.
Unreal.
I mean, one thing though, I suppose, with that is that because Browning's probably isn't the starter, and they're going to have, like, that offensive line is a sieve. Like, they get blokes are getting through, so they might just start, they're just going to keep looking for him without even knowing if he's open or not. So it might hurt him, it might not. It's a definite watch this space.
Well, Browning, I'm not quite sure which quarter he came in. I think it was the second one. He did an interception per quarter. So he's that Flacco type of guy that's just going to
let it
and it works out well. He scored 20 fantasy points himself. So Chase dropped down a bit. Higgins, I'm quite worried about. He scored the touchdown in the end, so his score looks good, but only the 3 receptions. If you can try and get out on him, he was someone I was looking to buy last week, but I'm probably trying to get off him now. And then Chase Brown, he's been very inefficient. Lots of attempts. He's the only running back getting touches there. But he's going to be very inefficient, I think, in this offense now. So another one I'd probably try to get out of.
I think you hold Brown. I don't think he's going to have anyone else take his job. So unless you're going to get someone that's markedly better, I think I'd just hold him. You know he's going to get the work. And sometimes, that's all it takes. Sometimes if you know you're going to get the work, then at least you can trust him to give you some. They're probably going to have a higher floor than a lot of the other guys that might be a little bit boom or bust.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with the high floor. Like, this was probably a poor game, and he scored the 8 points.
Yeah.
But if you could move him to a wide receiver in a similar value range, I'd maybe look to do that.
You'd be spewing if you paid right up in that early part of the second round, reaching for him.
You're talking about that.
Yeah. But then the Jags, with old Cohen, what did he say? Duval. He's an interesting cat, but their team, I know bloke who usually sits here, Taff. He's not in on Trevor Lawrence. He thinks he's pretty poor, but he's not been terrible. They're getting the ball out. Their running backs are looking good. Like, who would have thought ETN would be doing what he's doing? Yeah. He's scoring well. He could be the Bucky Irving of this offense. He's getting out there, and then they've got a big breakout sort of performance from Tootin. A couple of touchdowns, one touchdown, scored 15. So it's an interesting backfield, and it's so
they're sort of splitting the first and second down role, but I think it's the other rookie, Quint Allen, that's doing the third down role.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a three-headed monster, but yeah, ETN and Tootin, the guys going off this week. So
ETN's someone though that probably thrives on less usage. Funnily enough, he's not someone that if you're giving him the ball too much, he gets worn down because he's not a big fella. So if you can give him that a little bit less work, he'll be highly efficient because he can be a bit fresher for when he is getting the ball.
Yeah, so he's probably a hold for me, but I wouldn't be looking to buy, I don't think.
No, you'd be paying up too much.
Yeah, correct. And then
receivers.
Onto the receivers. So I'm a big Hunter guy. A bit of a down week, only the 5 points. I was off BTJ, and my take to start the year is not looking too bad. I actually have Hunter ranked higher than BTJ.
I'm not sure. I know he had 12 targets, BTJ.
Yeah.
I know they didn't probably connect, but Mac Jones coming in.
You had the connection last year.
Different. But then you got, obviously, the big one out of that was De'Ami Brown.
Yeah.
Former Redskin or Commander, whichever way you want to say it. But he obviously had a good game. The 17 points.
Yep.
He had a carry. He had 7 targets, touchdown. He's going to be an interesting one on waivers for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, keep the faith with Hunter, and yeah, if you're a Thomas owner, no point selling low. You got to keep the faith as well. And that's the game. Yep.
Might even be a buy low, BTJ. If someone's desperate to get out of him, you might be able to get him for something.
It could be one to sniff around on. But yeah, I'm not a massive fan. I thought the breakout last year was a bit manufactured, so not for me. But yeah, could be a good buy low. Next up is Taff's favourite time. Yeah, so it's actually a double Taff's favourite time. So we've got the beer review. We've got here the a bit warm.
If you know me, I'll have a beer at the best of times now. So.
Getting in on Monday night. So this is the Peroni Italian one. So we got, what does Taff normally read out? So you got 1.3 standard drinks.
I think they're low calorie, which is not too bad.
Good for ball
if you're into the gym. So
yeah, it's pretty rough.
It's better than I was expecting, to be honest.
Goes nice when colder and with a pizza, or at an Italian restaurant. But yeah, because it's not that cold, I've just had it sitting there. It's probably 2.5 Tom Brady Super Bowl rings for me.
I'll give it a 3, actually. It's a bit better than I predicted. But I guess my only experience really drinking it's been when it's free at a wedding. So, no, it's definitely a little bit better than I predicted. So,
well, this one's free as well, isn't it?
Well, it's my payment.
All right. We'll move on to Taff's other favourite time. Yep, so Taff's favourite time, another one, is a Dallas win in overtime.
Dallas.
No less. So, plenty of talking points here. So, I'll let you take it away with the first one, because I think that is the big talking point.
Well, I'll tell you what, Brandon Aubrey, he's a 2nd or 3rd round pick next year. He is ridiculous. If he's not the best kicker in the game, I'll go he. He's unbelievable. Yeah.
24 fantasy points in our league.
Yeah, and he's got a leg. I think he can nearly kick it from 65, 70. He's nuts. What a start. But what about a lot of points though? This is like a crazy game. I caught a good chunk of it. 40 to 37. Obviously, I think you've said it before, Kale, that Dallas defense is chooch. Like, they are no good. So if you've got any players that are coming up against them, put them in. If there was such a thing as a captain in fantasy, I'd be putting it on it. Like, they are a sieve. So, but I guess looking at the winning side, Javonte Williams, 25.
Yeah.
He's the bell cow back. Sanders gets a few touches here or there, but Javonte's getting most of the work, and I'm happy to say that I'm an owner. But he's definitely someone worth. Well, I suppose not probably. You wouldn't be paying up to get him because you'd be paying too high a price. But if you could sell high, that'd be something that maybe would be worth considering.
Because he's still got Blue that they drafted. He's been a healthy scratch the first 2 weeks. He's someone I think towards the second half of the year they will look to get him involved, probably on third downs, and that'll take a little bit of work away. Sanders, I think, will be a non-factor.
That offensive line's solid. Like the three Tylers, whoever's the running back there is going to be going well. Yeah. I think.
Actually, the more I think about it, I think Sanders is going to fade out and Blue will take his role. I think Javonte can be the workhorse there.
I think he'll still be the starter. I don't think he's going to lose that, but I think he might. He maybe not going to be getting 25, 30 touches a game. He might cut down to maybe 20.
Yeah, so I think at the moment he's probably averaging 22, 23 points.
Yeah.
I think, he's probably a solid guy that you can probably look for 15 plus on the season.
Yeah, 100%. He's definitely someone you can throw into your flex spot, and you're pretty confident he's going to give you the business.
Yeah. And then next up, so you got Lamb, Pickens. You're probably starting them every week. I would say, for me, actually, Pickens with the touchdown, 9 targets, probably a sell for me. I'm not sure if he's going to be a bit boom or bust. So when you get the boom.
Well, and he's an absolute maniac. You're never sure if he's going to suplex the referee or whatever he's going to do. Like he could get suspended. So he's an interesting watch. You love to watch him, but he's someone that you're a little bit heart and mouth when you have him as on your team in fantasy, which I have done previously.
Agree. And then flip side of the coin. So the guy I had to come up against this week. How about this for one of our matchups? I come up against Neighbours, St. Brown, and Tucker Craft. Yep. I think they combined for about 120 points.
Yeah, to see.
And I've lost by about that much as well. So Neighbours, obviously must start. I think we said it last week, me and Taff. We both were high on him, both in our top 4 wide receiver for the year.
I did try to get Neighbours this week in my league, but turned down.
Yeah, I also tried, and I think it was relatively close, but he turned it down as well. But you never lose faith after one bad week. These players, top caliber, they're always going to turn it around.
He's a star, Neighbours. He's someone that's going to be a staple for years in fantasy. Yeah. So
I think him and Jamar Chase are very similar. I think very similar characters.
It doesn't matter the quarterback either.
Yeah,
like Russell Wilson throwing moon balls. Old as he still managed to get that sort of
calling for his head last week, and look at him now.
Wandale Robinson's an interesting one. Like he had 10 targets, 8 catches. Was it 142 yards and a touchdown? Yeah, he's one of them guys that you're probably not looking to start him, but if you have to, he might pull something out like this. He's probably not someone that I'd be going over the top to get in on waivers, though. I just don't think that's the sort of production he's going to be getting week to week. So I'd be leaving that to other blokes. If he's there after the waivers have sort of processed and you've got a spot there, I'd get him, but I wouldn't be looking to put him up the top there.
Correct,
for sure.
Yeah.
What about the Scatterboo?
The running back, yes. This is probably actually my main takeaway, not the kicker. But I think he's taken over. He's a starting running back now. Scatterboo.
He runs head first. He's a great watch. Love him.
Yeah, I think and Tracy's always a fumble away. Last year, had a lot of fumbles. He's new to the running back role. Obviously, a receiver most of his college career. I think Scatterboo. I thought if it was going to be Dart that takes over from Wilson at some point of the year, I thought that was going to be the similar transition from Tracy to Scatterboo. But they've gone early, so
they'll be a good watch.
Pretty good.
They'll be a good watch once they go to Dart. Well, imagine even if they went Jameis Winston for a bit. What a team that would be! Jameis Winston, Scatterboo.
Neighbours would average about.
Neighbours.
He would do this every week, 37 points.
That would be a team worth watching.
Yeah.
Also, one bloke we didn't mention in the Cowboys, Jake Ferguson.
Yeah.
9 catches, 12 targets.
Yeah. Which actually that's the part I forgot. Actually, that's the reason why I'm looking to move off Pickens, because it still looks like Ferguson's the number 2 guy.
Yeah.
So
he was high on my list. I just
less high volume.
didn't quite get him.
Yeah, less high volume passing game. Yeah, I think that's where Pickens might struggle. So that's why I'm going. I like Ferguson there.
Yeah, definitely worth trying to get if you can.
Yeah. Okay. Next up. Yep. Now the game we've all been waiting for. Your Bears. Yep. Turn that hat around.
Yeah. I think my biggest takeaway is the Bears are crap, and if you follow them, good luck to you.
But one good news for the Bears, and something I liked coming into the year. I did think Dunze would take over as the wide receiver 1. I didn't expect it to be in the first and second week, though. I expected maybe a bit close to halfway through the year.
Yeah, he's got a real connection there with
looks
Caleb
real
Williams.
good.
He looks like he's the guy he's looking for.
Yeah. From memory, when they were drafting Caleb Williams, they obviously had the 9 or 10 pick as well.
9 pick, I think it was. Yeah, 9 pick.
Caleb was very high on. He wanted a receiver.
Yep.
And he liked, obviously, Neighbours and Harrison were going to be gone by then.
Yeah.
He really wanted a Dunze. So
yep.
I think that says volumes. And he's a guy I picked up low as a buy low last year.
Yep.
He never really turned into anything. And yeah, it's just taken to the second year. Often players drafted in the top 10 picks, there's a lot of examples out there that if they don't break out in their first year and the offensive scheme changes or head coach changes, they break out that next year. So Dunze was, I think, right for the breakout, and it's looks like it's here.
Yeah, well, Ben Johnson is an offensive mind, so you could expect that there's going to be a few Bears players that are going to jump out. And he's obviously been the first one to do that, but the probably the big one that I probably say with the Bears, it's been a little bit of a failure so far has been, Caleb Williams has obviously been probably poor in the games, but he's been not that bad on fantasy. But Swift, the running back, he's really the only guy that's going to get many touches. They've got Monangai who's going to get a couple of carries here or there to change the pace, but he's probably someone that if you've drafted, I'd probably be looking to get away from him. He's too small. The offensive line's probably not good enough. So I wouldn't be. He's not someone I'd be trusting.
Yep,
for sure.
I agree. And then also with that, another guy probably drafted late. It was pick number 10, I think, Loveland. Yep. I'm not sure if he's worth a roster spot with how many decent tight ends there are out on waivers. He can sort of stream the position.
Cole Kmet's a good player. It's hard to sort of push him out. So unless they're playing 12 personnel, he's probably not getting enough snaps, enough looks at it. So
it's probably one we got a little bit excited with because of the draft capital, but I think he's just a solid tight end.
Dynasty, you stash him because he's good enough to eventually get there, but in the redraft leagues, he's probably not worth a spot, as you said.
Yeah, correct. And on the Detroit side, I'm actually going to start with the quarterback, Goff. 5 passing touchdowns, unreal. So potentially he could be out there on waivers in your league. Definitely worth a pickup after a performance like that. He's back to his best.
Well, it's amazing what happens when you don't have Micah Parsons chasing you around the place. So he's definitely he's a great quarterback, and he's someone that can deal with versatility. If he has a bad week, he's not going to turn into a bad quarterback. He's going to be a good player.
Yeah.
He is a good player. He's probably one of the. I'd probably say he's the best quarterback in the NFC.
Well, that's a big call.
That'd be my big call. Yeah.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. So that's above Daniels.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I'm trying to think who else.
If you can't think of anyone, then there mustn't be anyone genuinely better than him. He's at least in the argument. But I tell you, St. Brown, he's another one that I'd really push to try and get, and I got very close to getting him, and he went off. I know, and I knew it probably would happen because the Bears have got a few injuries on defense, especially at cornerback and safety. So, Amon-Ra went off his head, nearly going for 40. Like, that's a crazy score. So, the sun god.
One. And I think another one, Jameson Williams, he's back after a slow week last week. I think you probably look. I just want to see who they're.
2 of 4 for 108.
Yeah,
and a touchdown's. It's a bit of a boom or bust scoreline, but that's what he does. He's the sort of guy that week to week he either wins you a matchup or loses a matchup.
Yeah,
so
correct. Yeah. So next week they're against Baltimore. I'd probably hold him until then. That should be another big scoring game, so he should do well. And then after that, I'd probably look to try and sell high because I don't really like the boom bust nature of him. And then at tight end, it was last week no one did well on the Lions except Laporta, and then this week everyone did well except Laporta.
Yeah,
so
I'm not sure about Laporta. I thought he was going to be probably the next great tight end in that first year, his rookie year, but he's really deteriorated. And week to week, you're just never sure what he's going to give you. And most of the time, it seems that it's probably the lower end of what you're getting.
Yeah, both me and Taff, we had him as a guy we really didn't like drafting when we did our tight end video because he was going as that number 4. It made sense for him to be the tight end 4, but he should never have been as close as he was getting drafted to Kittle and that top 3 guys. And it's played out that way. he's not doing as well, and there's lower guys down the list that like a Warren, like a Kraft that have jumped up, and they're definitely above him now.
The running backs just did what they usually do.
Yeah.
You know, both scoring decent. Gibbs obviously near 20. You know, explosive. You know, they're just the sort of guys that you can bank on. Montgomery, obviously, a little bit less easy to bank on him. If they're chasing the game, then he's not going to get as much usage. Yeah. But when you're putting 50 on a team, you know, there's plenty of ball to go around, I guess.
Yeah, correct. I think I'm still comfortable starting him most weeks until he has a poor one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next up. Go Bears. Not this week. Yeah. Okay, next up. So we've got the Patriots and the Dolphins. So my main takeaway here is obviously one of my men, Henderson, going into the year. I had him as the RB8 on the year. I did think it might take him a few games to get there, but I was surprised with how well he looked last week. And then they've actually dropped down his snap share and touches by a bit this week. I mean, it's hard to go against it. Stevenson did play well. He's about 5 yards per carry and the 5 receptions for nearly 100 yards. That's a very good stat line. Even Gibson mixed in a bit. But yeah, I'm very surprised they've gone downhill with Henderson, but definitely I'm still holding. I still think come week 6 or 7, he's going to flip the script and it's going to be him scoring the 20 points, Stevenson scoring the 6. Stevenson, I think, yeah. I wouldn't be looking to buy him, but he could be a good handcuff in the second half of the year.
One of those things, the old running back committee is the killer of fantasy. You know, they've got Ramondre, who's, I know a lot of people probably thought he was going to drop off, but he is a good player and he has been for a couple of years now.
I thought so.
He pounds the ball, and then Gibson's a good receiving back, and Henderson's come in, who's a good player as well, but week to week, you're never really sure who's going to be the main guy. It'll be the hot hand. So early days, definitely, it's going to be a hard one to predict.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, definitely keep the faith. I wouldn't be looking to sell low on him. But if maybe your league mate that does have him is looking to do so, I would definitely jump on.
Drake May running the ball around.
Yeah.
He's looking okay.
26 points.
I know Miami probably aren't the best defense, but he's someone that you might be another one that you might be able to get on the waivers there. So he's probably not the worst bloke to get out there.
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to have him. He was my number 10 going into the year. Wide receivers. So one of the top waiver claims last week was the Booty. He was my number 1 guy. He only had the 1 target this week, but he scored the touchdown from it, and he was still the highest snap percentage wide receiver there. There just wasn't, I guess, a great passing volume going around. Diggs got the 5 targets, but didn't do a lot with them. But I think Diggs, after the second half of the year, once he gets used to the offense, used to running around on the injury, I think he can take off. Not sure what to do about Booty. I think he's probably a guy you can probably drop again, I'd say.
I'd say that the wide receiving core at the Patriots is Booty and not the Keyshawn kind. It is pass. I don't really trust anyone. Maybe Diggs once he gets a few more games in after his ACL, but he's every chance to throw a tantrum and ask for a trade.
Yeah.
You know, he's got that track record, but they're not a team where you're looking at the receivers and having any sort of trust or anything like that. They're all over the place week to week. You know, maybe if you need a bit of a flyer, you could pick one and maybe you get lucky, but it's not someone that you're going to be trusting there to play on your waivers, so play on your flex spots.
Yeah, that reminds me actually, they come up in my newsfeed this week, that video of when he was at Minnesota and a guy goes around the locker room asking, which player
not date your sister.
Not date your sister. And they're all, what? Dalvin Cook. What? Oh, Diggs.
Yeah, Diggs.
Yeah. So clearly it says a bit that he's obviously a good player when he's not coming back from injury, but shocking bloke. So
Miami,
yeah. So back to form a little bit. So for me, first point of call is sell high while you can.
Yeah,
HN 26 points. If Tua goes down or gets dropped, or I think the main concern is Mike McDaniel's getting the arse.
Well, Zach Wilson's the backup there, so that'd be an interesting one if Tua got knocked out again. It might change the way the offense works, but Tua looks very poor. I know they got some yards here, but I don't think the Patriots are very good either. So, like you said, I'd be selling high. HN, he's a very good player. He's a very fantasy relevant player because they used him as a receiving back, obviously, but he's a little fella. He's every chance he's going to get hit by one of them big boys, and he's going to go down.
I think, my problem with him is if Michael McDaniel does get the booty, get the ass, does the new guy that comes in or the guy that steps up, is he going to be getting 10 targets a game?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
No, I don't think he'd be getting.
So he's not going to have he's not going to have the floor that he once had, and the new guy coming in might look to give the rookie like Gordon a bigger go.
Well, that's it. And Gordon's probably someone that you're looking to maybe get, as you say, buy low. You know, if someone's willing to get rid of him, or if someone drops him because he's not getting the usage yet, he's someone you stash because he's definitely someone that could be similar to what happened with Jordan Mason last year, where he popped off and they started pounding the rock. He could be someone to pound the rock. I think he's 6'2". You know, he could be a really viable fantasy option. Yeah, if you can get a hold of him.
Yeah, and then you got the receivers. So Waddle got the touchdown. Hill looked really good, but both sells for me.
Hill had less targets than kids, so he's not someone that you really trust, and I don't think either. He's got a lot more other stuff going on in his mind. Thinking about trades.
I still think he's
played
going to do a trade. Me and Taff nearly made a bet on that on the air, but he chickened out. So
standard.
Yeah. So me, I'm looking to sell. Just sell where I can, and normally that means when you got the wide receiver position, it's hard to go to another wide receiver. Try and move to the running back position. And
their tight ends played well in Miami too. Unbelievable. Goose egg.
Goose egg. No Darren Waller yet. I think he's still rapping. What do we got up next? So next up now I've got San Fran versus the Saints. So this was a battle of quarterbacks, I'd say. They both scored decently, actually, which is surprising.
Well, they didn't really turn the ball over. Mac Jones just sort of
no interceptions actually.
Mac Jones is probably the one of the better game managers. I think if you plug him into an offense where they've got the weapons, he's probably going to be able to make things happen. So if Purdy is out for a little while, I don't think Mac Jones doesn't make 49ers players any less valuable. I think if anything, they're probably about the same. So
there's decent scoring. Obviously, McCaffrey
doing what McCaffrey does.
Yeah, obviously the injury risk is still there, but you got to risk it for the biscuit. So he's
I think if he plays any more than 14 games, if he plays 13, 14 games for the season,
if he's healthy for the fantasy championships, he will win you that championship.
100%. He was someone that I was
just getting him there.
I traded my second round pickup to be a late first, and I was going to keep trying to push it up to get CMC.
Yeah,
I think for sure he's someone that can win you the league.
Yeah, definitely. So he's there, scored the 22 points. The surprising one for me was Jennings with the 10 targets versus Pearsall with the 6. I didn't see that coming. And obviously he scored the touchdown as well. So managers that drafted him on the back of injury and contract news, you've been rewarded so far with a performance like that. Obviously Kittle is out, so the target volume's not going to him.
Yeah, I think obviously you probably got a little bit more red zone work, but I think week to week, Pearsall's probably the better option.
Yeah.
Jennings can go off, as we saw last year. He can go off for a massive game.
Yeah.
But, I think they're an interesting team to keep an eye out on, the 49ers, especially that, I know we're talking about receivers, but that tight end room is a bit interesting. If you've got Kittle and you've picked up one of the handcuffs to come in, I'm not really sure who's the main guy and who's not.
Yeah, they both sort of split the workload. So probably not in your main 10 or 12-man leagues. Probably not relevant, but I know for reference, I'm in a 32-man league.
Yeah.
And the guy, what's his name, Tongs, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but I think he went for about $400 in fab out of 1,000.
Bloody hell.
Because he was essentially the only guy on offense that scored.
That's about the same amount I'm invoicing for this session, I think.
Yeah.
$400. So.
Yeah, that'd be about right. Yeah. Monopoly money's all right.
Taff's man.
So Jennings, for me, probably look to try and sell if you can. I'm not sure if anyone's buying except Deal Bloody Beach.
Yeah.
Ricky Pearsall, I would keep the faith. Moving over to the Saints, I think we said last week.
The rattle gun.
Yeah, I don't really want to be in on any of the Saints. Our man Taff in our league does have both Kamara and Olave, and he seems to be happy with it. But
Yeah,
for me, I'd be looking to get rid of him. It's just not a stable room at all.
Kamara's getting a lot of the ball, and I've said it a few times now. The old man stuff, like he's someone that's going to get worked into the ground.
Yeah.
So if you're in one of those dynasty leagues or the bigger leagues, Country Mill is someone that you probably want to have
that's a good one. Yeah,
hidden in the back pocket there, because I feel like there's almost no chance that Kamara's going to get through the whole season without getting injured at some point. But the one of the interesting guys, I suppose, I've had him in the past. He's a bit of a boom and bust guy, but Rashid Shaheed, he just seems to pop up every season. You think, is he that good? What's he going to do? He comes out and he gives you these sort of scores, and he makes him someone that you maybe want to have sitting there on your flex and wait for the right matchup. Sorry, sitting on your bench and waiting to play him in the flex for the right matchups. Especially if the Saints are in the game and they're chasing it. They're not afraid to pass the ball. They had I think it was over 50 pass attempts last week, and they had 34 this week.
Yeah.
So they're not afraid to air the ball out. So Shaheed's someone that's definitely worth having in your team. Maybe not starting every week, but someone to consider.
Hey, that's the problem with a player like him. You're not really sure when you're going to start him. The good weeks, to quote Taff, the good week's going to be on the bench. The bad week's going to be in your lineup. So that's, I'd probably try and avoid, or if you do have him, I'd be looking to sell. And obviously Olave's there. He's solid enough. Saints actually do have a good wide receiver run.
He's a good player, Olave. Just obviously he's had the concussions, so you never know. And it doesn't take much. The last couple have only been sort of lighter touches. So if someone blows on the back of his helmet too hard, that might be him out for the season. So gotta be careful.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. But if he wasn't picked up on waivers last week, he probably should have been. Juwan Johnson, again, touchdown this week, and it was actually a really good catch.
Yep.
The 9 targets as well. He's looking like he might be the Jono Smith of this year.
Yep.
We'll see how he goes. If they make a change at quarterback, I mean, Rattler's looking not too bad so far, but if they do move to Shuck at some point, I think he's terrible, and that's one reason I'm off.
I think they're going to
Saints.
I think they're going to stick with Rattler.
Yeah,
the star of QB1 in that Netflix doco, if you've seen it. Not a QB1, the high school one, whatever that was called. Nah, it's a few years old anyway. But I think he's the more capable of the guys, and they're probably going to stick with him for the season, unless he has a bad run of games.
Yeah.
But I think they'll just stick with him, and then they're probably going to look to draft a quarterback next season.
Arch Manning was the plan, but he's not looking good in college either. So.
No. And they the last time they had a Manning on their team, he was pretty ordinary.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, a long time ago. So
I wasn't around then. That's probably your age.
Yeah.
All right, moving now. So on to Bills v the Jets. So main takeaway here is
Justin Fields.
Yeah.
His booty. As you can see, I'm a former fan of his. if he can't run the thing, I don't think he's very good, is he?
No, well,
3 of 11, 27 yards.
You look at his score and you're like, oh yeah, he went off injured. It's not that bad, but he went off injured in was it late third or even last quarter maybe?
Yeah.
So he saved my matchup in the first week in our league, but he's done me in the second week.
Well, we will get to that game, but the Pittsburgh defense has shown that they can give up a bit on the ground.
Yeah,
and
it's looking like it. Yeah.
The Bills after getting gashed in week 1 by Derrick Henry and Lamar came correct, as they say. So they managed to really sort of stuff both of them in Justin Fields and Breece Hall.
Yeah.
So it might not be a panic stations sort of situation, but it wasn't a great sign for those two.
Correct. So, Fields in the concussion protocol. He might be missing next week. So, if you do have him, I mean, you can put him on your IR slot, but I'm someone, I've already got the suspended Addison and the injured Kittle in my IR, and obviously I'm going to need a quarterback. So, for me, I'm thinking I might just drop him.
I think he'll be there when you need to pick him up later. Anyway.
Yeah, that's
I
what
don't
I'm
think anyone's going to be jumping on him.
Yeah, probably not. So, Breece Hall back down to earth. For those managers, I was worried coming into the year. He started off hot, but
The only thing I probably would say is, like I said, the Bills played pretty good to keep him quiet. I don't think this is the norm. I think it's just a bad week. But if it happens again, then you obviously be a little bit worried. But I think he'd be all right.
Well, we see who they up next. They got Tampa, so I think that's a relatively good matchup. And then they got Miami and Dallas. So
depends on what Vita Vea is doing, I suppose. Tampa.
Yeah, so
he's one of the best nose tackles in the league. So
potentially if they can get through that matchup, if he can look good, he's got week 4 and 5 is a good matchups, Miami and Dallas.
Yeah,
I'd probably be looking to sell high after that if he's doing well.
Yeah.
Then Garrett Wilson, I sort of expected this as well. Just with Fields as the quarterback, he's got the 8 targets, but only 4 catches, 9 points. He's probably around the wide receiver 20 to 30 range for me, and there's just a lot of guys in that range that are pretty much all the same.
Yeah, if you've got someone that's a genuine star and he's your second or third receiver, then you're probably not as worried. But if you've sort of got him and you're not really got a lockdown superstar at wide receiver 1, then you might be looking to maybe move off him, I think.
Yeah, try and see what you can do.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
package him up with someone to get up.
Yeah, over to the Bill side. So I made a short on this guy after the contract news. And I told you he's a good pickup in the mid-third round, James Cook. Another 2 touchdowns this week. Surprised. I didn't think he'd be able to get as many touchdowns as he did last week, but he's on pace to do it so far, and he's looking really good, really efficient.
Well, and the Jets' defense isn't their poor area of the game.
Yeah.
Like they're pretty good. So for him to do that, it's not like he's done it against a poor team.
Correct. Yeah. So I've been looking to try and move off him in our main league to try and get up the board to what I would consider a better player. But yeah, I'm thinking no one's really buying him because everyone thinks he's going to drop off with the touchdowns from last year. The snap counts is still not there technically, but he's getting all the touches when he is on the field. So I think he's a very efficient player, and he's just someone in that offense. You just want to keep players in good offenses.
Well, we could do a live trade now. I'll give you Breece Hall for Cook right now if you want. Yeah.
No chance.
It's a fair deal.
I drafted him before Hall. Oh, actually, no, you drafted Hall before Cook, but nah.
No, I didn't know. It was 4-1. I drafted Hall.
Yeah, 403 Cook.
Was he?
Yeah, he was on the board. Good.
Great move.
Yeah,
smart.
Great. Then wide receivers, Coleman, again, back down to earth, but that's because how many pass attempts? 25 in this game, 14 completions. So
Mitch the Truth Trubisky came in for a couple of them at the end.
Yeah, and that's a worry if you got Allen. In these big blowout games, they do tend to rest him. So,
he got hit in the head.
Oh, he broke his nose, actually.
Yeah,
yes, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. So,
and he came back on. What a absolute animal! And again, Kincaid, he was the most targeted guy with 6, and the other tight end Knox with 5, with their top 2 guys. I find it very hard to start any wide receiver or tight end on the Bills because they just look to spread it around so much.
Yeah. I do like Khalil Shakir. I know he had a pretty poor game, but I've got him on my team, and I'm happy to just hold on to him because I think as the season goes on, he'll keep coming good. Especially he's one that had a bit of an injury run in the preseason, he could come good later.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. So now we've got the Seattle versus Pittsburgh, the defense you just mentioned. So that means we can probably start with Seattle. Walker back to being the number 1 guy. Although if you look at the snaps and the touches, basically 50-50 still. But 18 points versus 1. It's night and day from week 1.
It'll be interesting because obviously he has gone off as Breece Hall did last week and Justin Fields to see if that's just a bit of a blip or if that's going to be the new norm, where he's going to continue to get that sort of efficiency out of himself.
And would you look at who they're playing next week? New England.
Pittsburgh. Interesting.
My man Hendo could see that bounce back he needs. So, okay,
there you go.
I'm liking that. JSN, he's still the guy. He's moving up draft boards for me.
He's a star.
Yeah, he's above BCJ for sure now.
Yep.
He's that guy. If you're going back and drafting again, he's an early 2nd round pick, I think.
And Darnold's a trustworthy quarterback, so
he's
going to get him the ball. He's getting the targets,
job,
and he's got the arm strength to be able to hit him on those deeper routes.
Yep. And then Cut, he's back to form. He's got his 9 targets, and I think that's just what he's going to be.
Yeah, just in the slot there.
Yeah, going to be that safe guy. Obviously, maybe the first week he struggled. I think he's definitely still going to have his quiet weeks like last week. But yeah, I think he should average anywhere from 8 to 12 points, I would say. Just a safe guy you can have as your last starting player.
Well, it was one game that I thought, looking at both teams, especially Seattle, they've done a lot better than I thought. I messaged you last night saying, bet the under on this one, 40.5. I don't think either of these teams' offenses are that good. But Seattle, unfortunately for my betting career, but fortunately for anyone that owns any Seattle players, they looked a lot better than I thought.
Yep, agree with that. Then that's about it there. No tight ends of note.
No, not really.
The
Steelers.
Pittsburgh, a guy that I had on my team last week, Warren, and I was just looking to sell because I thought maybe Johnson's going to get more involved. Gainwell was actually the guy with the most touches, the highest snap share. But so I managed to sell Warren. I got Mooney back in return because I think Atlanta's going to throw the ball a lot. But yeah, he's had a really good game. 14 carries, 4 targets, and one of them was a massive run, probably nearly play of the round.
He's definitely a very good option in the passing game, Warren. So that just gives you that sort of higher floor with his scoring because you know he's going to get those sort of 3 to 5 targets at least.
Correct.
And every week. So that just sort of boosts his score up. Even if he's not the best runner, he's going to get the work.
Yeah, and with Gainwell being what he is and Johnson just turning to absolute dust, I thought he was going to be a really good player this year.
I think a few others thought that as well. I wasn't really a massive advocate for him, but I didn't really see a lot of him. So, yeah, he's definitely not taken that step. But
no, and if you saw the play, he gave up a touchdown by not knowing the rules of the game very well.
He's probably someone that you're just dropping if you have him on your roster at this stage. I wouldn't be holding him.
I think I said it last week. Yeah. I think I'd be comfortable. There's a few guys on waivers I quite like.
Yeah.
Yes, someone will pick him up, and potentially I might be one person that picks him up, but only if there's nothing better out there. But I don't see him doing anything this year, to be honest.
DK saved by his touchdown.
Yep.
3 of 6 for 20 yards. I think that'll come good. I did see a lot of footage of him with Aaron Rodgers where they looked like they had a bit of a connection. So I wouldn't be panicking by any stretch. I wouldn't be selling low because that's what would be happening at this stage. But he might be a buy low because I think he will come good. He's a stud.
Yeah.
It just might take one more week.
Yep, agree with that. And then
Austin
was a pickup on waivers last week. I think Taff had him as one of his guys. But 4 targets, only caught one of them.
You'd be spewing if you paid up and got him in those earlier parts of the waivers or paid big fab dollars to get him because I don't think he's going to be a superstar. But he didn't go off. But Rodgers didn't really go off, and I don't know if Rodgers was. Maybe needs to go and have another hit of the ayahuasca or whatever he needs to do. But, not his best game.
No. And then the tight ends obviously got Frymouth and Jonu. Wouldn't be starting either of them.
No, Frymouth is banned from my fantasy teams after that fumble last year, which cost me. I lost by less than I think it was less than half a point.
I remember that,
lost by, so he's done.
That was interesting. Okay, moving on to LA. Yeah, so LA v the Titans. Probably for me, the key takeaway here, Puka, obviously, especially with the Burrow news to chase, I think Puka's the wide receiver 1, and not even just wide receiver 1. I think he is the overall number 1.
Yeah, 100%.
In the league now.
He's definitely someone that if you've drafted him, you're absolutely laughing at the minute. He's a superstar, genuine superstar.
Definitely not someone I'd be trading away for Pickens and Pollard, that's for sure.
No. Stupid. I can't believe he did that. Devontae, though, he looked good.
Yeah, I have him in that league, and I'm very happy.
I get to say you're his owner. What year is this?
But yeah, he was actually another one similar to Cook last week. I was looking to sell at any price to try and do a 2-for-1 to move up, but no one was giving me the time of day. And
luckily for you,
now 13 targets, the touchdown.
Yeah,
I think as long as Stafford's healthy, both Nakua and Adams are just going to eat.
Yep.
Nakua is going to obviously be the number 1, but Adams, I don't expect 22 points every week, but I'm expecting 15 plus, I would say, or at least the 15 mark.
Yep.
he should be able to have that safe floor. But probably the main takeaway for me this game is Coram. He's out scored Williams this week, mainly because he got the touchdown. But
he had a couple of big plays.
Yeah, very efficient with his touches.
Yeah. I think Coram's is obviously still the main man.
Yeah.
He just didn't have a big week of fantasy. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you get a bit of the ball. You don't play badly, but you don't score that well.
Yeah.
He's definitely someone you wouldn't be panicking if
you so he's someone that you can probably bank on 3 out of 4 weeks. He's probably going to score a rushing touchdown. But the week he doesn't, only the 10 points.
He's a high floor guy, though. Like, he's going to get enough touches to...
Yeah. So, I think 10 points is his floor, definitely, because he's going to get this workload. But without the touchdown, it just doesn't look as nice.
Yeah. The Titans, I honestly, I would not touch any of them.
Yeah.
If you've got them, I'd be trying to trade them.
Yeah.
Their offense, I don't think it's the personnel that's the issue. I think whoever their offensive coordinator is, it looks awful.
Yeah.
There's a few times where it looks like blokes will run the wrong routes. Cam Ward's running for his life.
He looks really good, actually.
I think he could. Yeah. He looks like he's going to be a guy, but I think this is a season where you just avoid the Titans at all costs.
Yeah. I think maybe if Ridley has another really bad week, I could see myself buying super low.
Yeah,
but it would have to be super low.
You don't want to be paying up for him. No. He was someone that I was pretty keen on drafting, and I'm pretty happy that I missed out on him because I just think that offense looks poor. Yeah,
for me, I think similar to last year, you had Daniels with McLaurin.
Yeah.
Who was the other guy I'm thinking of? Bo Nix with Sutton. They didn't start the year well, but both of them second half of the year, very strong years. I could see Ridley with the rookie Ward doing the same thing, but that if you go by that same track record, it's only going to start to turn around the halfway point. So you don't need to invest.
Not sure if you saw any highlights from that game, but did you see his throw across the body?
Oh yeah,
that was ridiculous. That's one of the cardinal sins.
That's a big no-no, but geez, it looked good.
You take it. He'll be a star.
So that's a kicking across the goals.
Yeah,
in AFL.
Yeah, don't be doing that.
But other than that,
not much to say about this game really. It's a pretty poor game. Besides, obviously the superstars in Puka and Adams, it's a pretty fantasy irrelevant game.
Yep, would agree with that. Okay, moving on. So, who would have thought Daniel Jones is looking like a top 5 quarterback?
Danny Dimes.
Yeah, from the Colts. I saw a name that they were calling him Indiana Jones.
Yeah, maybe the Giants were the issue.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all knew that, but he's actually looking really good. So
it's another one. Actually, I don't know if it's a betting show, but something I put in my multi was that the Colts were going to win. I was pretty confident. I think they're a team that are going to really go close to.
So was it you that paid the ref to get that taken?
Yeah. I don't know which side you want to start with.
Yeah, we're going to keep going with
or Indy.
Indy. Taylor, for me, he was a bit of a buy last week, and someone I did try to get because he looked very efficient. He sort of left the game because they were winning by so much, and they gave more work to Giddens, the rookie. But in this game, obviously, it was very close. Was it 29 points? And that's only from one touchdown. So
he's a stud.
That's an unreal scoreline for one touchdown.
That offensive line that they've got is just probably one of the best in the league. So,
which is surprising because they've lost a few guys, haven't they?
Yeah, but they still they seem to be able to find guys and just plug them in. They've got a system. I think they're a really good team. They're probably one of the teams that you probably don't look. Besides maybe Taylor, they don't have a lot of superstars, but they're a really good team that's been put together.
Yeah, agree.
Put together well.
Yeah, they're moving along. So the wide receivers, I probably wouldn't be starting any of them. I'm a Downs owner. I did start him last week and regretted it, but 8 targets this week, and I could see that being a bit of a trend.
I feel like Pittman's probably the only one that you maybe have in your flex spots. He's touchdown dependent, going on a big score, but 8 points this week, 4 or 5 for 40 yards. Like he's a good player, but he's probably a touchdown man.
I'd probably say that for all of them.
I
think Downs, he's probably going to have a safe floor of maybe 7 to 8 points, but that's not start worthy. They're all just a touchdown away from being a good starter. So if you can package them in a trade and move off them, I would. Otherwise, they're probably just going to have to sit on your bench.
Warren's solid though. He's probably someone that I feel like he's probably going to be in the top sort of 6 or 7 tight ends this year. He looks good.
I've got him at number 3 now.
Yeah.
With the Kittle injury, so he's looking really good. He's someone I really liked. Taff. I had him as the smoky, someone that you should draft at his cost, and he had him as the opposite.
Yeah.
So great call there.
Yep.
But other than that, moving across to Denver, so Dobbins is still the man, and Harvey, I guess, very similar story to Hendo. I think you just got to keep the faith. You've probably spent a 4th or 5th round pick, or
he's going to fluctuate a little bit early. I think even Peyton, the coach, said that he's going to be a guy that they're going to probably find ways to get him the ball early, but he's going to probably come into it a little bit later on. Yeah. But Dobbins will be the man. He's going to pound the rock. They're going to look to get him the ball, and he's probably going to get those touchdowns.
He's looked really good so far.
Yeah, on those closer sort of short yardage stuff in the red zone.
But definitely don't be selling low on Harvey, and maybe be buying if someone's looking to sell.
Yep.
But you'd probably say nearly the number 1 waiver claim this week. Troy Mount Franklin. He's looking really good. So he was actually an Oregon player with Bo Nix, drafted both together last year. Someone I actually drafted in our league last year, but dropped him.
A year early. I did that with Nico Collins a few years ago.
It was nothing. So, but looks really good now. 9 targets, and the next highest is 4 for Sutton.
Yep. Who had a poor game. Yeah. Blanketed.
Yeah, you can't expect him to do that every week, but he could turn into the wide receiver 2 there, and it could be decent if Bo Nix is going to have a good year.
Yeah, especially with the tight ends in Evan Engram probably not doing a hell of a lot. So a lot of that work might go to those 2.
Yeah, agree. Yeah, and then Sutton potentially a buy low. Well, it's only 1 bad game.
Yeah, he wasn't terrible last week. I think he scored 16 or something last week. Yeah. So I think it's a bit of an aberration.
Yeah.
Like I said, the Colts are a good team. They've got a good defense as well. So I think you can forgive him for 1 bad week.
Yeah.
It's only if it starts turning into a little bit of a more common thing where he's having bad weeks, and maybe you look to move off him. But
another bad week, I'm probably going to send in a disgusting offer.
Bo Nix is probably one of those guys, though, that week to week he might have a little bit of a iffy game. He's a gunslinger, so he could make him go big, or he could miss him a few times on open plays. So you just got to hold the faith.
Yeah, agree. Yeah. Good. Okay, now probably on to the biggest game of the week. Yeah, so the Super Bowl rematch. Eagles v. the Chiefs, and Chiefs sitting at 0-2 now. So not a good start for them. We can probably start with them since I'm on.
Well, one thing I've got written down is that I feel like Pat Mahomes running for his life actually might be better for his fantasy production because he's running the ball really well at the minute.
Yes, yeah.
And he looks angry. He looks like he's fired up to try and get him back there. Maybe he doesn't have the team around him to get him there, but he's pushing. He's making things happen. So he's I'm an owner of him. So I think he's going to keep slinging the ball. He's going to be running around, making stuff happen.
Yeah. But speaking of running around, I don't think you want any of the running backs in that room. It's a clear 50-50 split, and even Smith got in on the action on this game. So you don't want to be. They're nearly both droppable. Hunt, I would probably.
Hunt. I watched the game and most of the game, and Hunt looked the better of the 2 when he was running. He looked like he was going with a bit more energy, and they were trusting him in the bigger situations. But neither of them are fantasy options for sure. Pacheco's probably past it in terms of in terms of a fantasy option at this point. They just, and their offensive line's a little bit, banged up in spots, so probably not the position to be targeting their running backs.
Yeah, agree. So moving down, no wide receivers really done well. Tyquan Thornton, obviously, with the touchdown, has got their scores wise, but he's not going to be rostered.
He did miss him. Obviously, like I said, I did get to watch this pretty well this whole game. He did miss Thornton on a massive. He was completely open, blown coverage. I think it was the 2 DBs ran into each other.
Yes.
So if you had to hit him for that, he goes 2 touchdowns. And obviously the yardage on that. So he ends up having a bigger game. He might be someone that a lot of people are probably looking at a little bit closer. And he did throw to him a lot. down the field. So he might not be someone that is going to be a consistent player, but even when the other guys come back, he might be someone that still gets those sort of boom or bust performances for you, where he might go out and score 20 points off of 3, receptions and 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
So he's definitely someone to keep an eye on.
Yeah, maybe in deeper leagues, but not for me. Probably in your 12-man leagues. Hollywood Brown back down to earth. I was getting some silly offers from the man that has Hollywood Brown in our league. I think he tried to get one of them was James Cook off me.
Yeah, okay.
Or Henderson.
Yeah, so, he did get banged up a little bit early, but he's still going to be the guy they're going to be looking for more consistently. He's stepping into that role, but as soon as those guys come back, I feel like he's probably going to fall off.
He's back on the waivers.
Yeah, I think if he gets to the waivers, I would still pick him up, but he's not someone I'll be trading for.
No. And then Kelsey just does what Kelsey does, 10 points. I think he should be pretty safe for that for the time being.
He should have scored a touchdown.
Yes, he should have.
He had that fumbled ball that turned into a pick. Any other, most of the time you'd say he did that with his eyes closed, but I don't know if the big ring that Taylor Swift put on his finger made that slip off his hands or what happened. But if he scores that touchdown and he gets that in there, then maybe the game ends up going a little bit differently, and obviously he goes to maybe scoring sort of somewhere around the 20 mark.
Yeah, I think he's a super safe player. Obviously, you got a few tight ends on waivers looking good, but the guys on waivers, I think I'd still rather start Kelsey.
And especially too with the injuries they got, he's even more probably viable because he's going to keep looking for him. He trusts him.
Correct. But in saying that, I think Worthy should be back this week. But I think you're not going to want to start Worthy.
I don't think he's going to take a hell of a lot of volume anyway.
Yeah.
I think he's he's probably similar to Jamison Williams, where he's probably a bit of a gadget player. Where he's going to score, gets a big yardage, but he's not going to end up having 10 touches a game or anything like that.
Yeah.
He's going to have 3 or 4 targets.
Yep. Great. Yeah. And then on the Philly side, Barkley, you're starting him every week. Nothing there.
Yeah.
Then Smith and Brown, similar to last week. We said keep the faith, although Taff was a little bit worried. They're both, again, they've got better volume this week, but still not even in the double digits for either of them.
Jalen Hurts threw for 100 yards. He's not a great passing quarterback. He's a great winning quarterback, and they make it work, but it's hard to really be happy having any of the wide receivers from Philadelphia on your team. I'd be, you'd say sell them, but you're selling them at a cut price rate, so it's sort of up to you, really.
Yeah, so I am an AJ Brown owner in our league, and it's been a bit rough considering I didn't have a first round pick in that league. I traded away for some depth, and he's my only second round pick, and he's not performing, so struggling a little bit because of that. But
maybe you request a trade. He's done it before. He's been disgruntled last season, so if he doesn't get the usage in the first few weeks, maybe he cracks it.
He did get the 8 targets, and if you like winning football games, speaking away from the fantasy side of things, I'd be staying.
Yeah, you just don't know. But wide receivers are divas.
Yeah, they do say that.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I think they should have a bounce back week. If hopefully Goddard is out again next week, and Smith and Brown both in the double digits. That's what I'm predicting. Anyway, moving on to our last game to review. Now, last game we've got here.
Sunday night football.
Yeah, Sunday night football. So Atlanta versus Minnesota. And my big takeaway from here is Drake London is probably the biggest buy low in the game this week. Only the four targets. I thought
a lot of them were junk time as well.
Yeah, I thought Atlanta, obviously, the defense has played really well this game, but I think there's still going to be a very high passing attack. But both quarterbacks only 21 passes. A lot of carries.
Well, there was a lot of sacks that the pressure the O-line was getting on them was intense both sides. So
I expected, just looking at the Atlanta side, I expect it to be much better into the future, at least 30 per game. And for me, that means London and also Mooney with his first game of the year. They're going to be much better than they were today. So both of them are buy lows. I actually bought Mooney in our league. But London, I'm going to heavily go after it. So hopefully he's not watching the pod.
I will be too.
Okay. Yeah, you've probably got more firepower to offer than me. But
he doesn't like me very much though at the minute.
He blocked me.
Cole Pitts though, he was someone obviously
for me.
4 or 5, but he did look good. I know he didn't score a massive 7.7. That's not a massive score, but he does look good. I think he's going to be someone that you can be pretty confident playing him at the tight end position this year. He's looking good. I like him.
Yep. Yeah, agree. Yeah, and like we said, if we think they're going to pass more, that's all three of them should be able to get more volume. But I think I saw in your notes the running backs.
Yeah,
what a game for Atlanta, both of them.
Yeah, well, I think LG is probably the best second running back in the league.
Agree.
I know I've talked about the Bears. They need help at running back. Geez, I'd love if LG was our starter.
That could make a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, but Bijan's a stud. They just look for him all the time, and if not for playing a very good Vikings defense, I think he could have gone off for an even bigger score. But speaking of the Vikings, and it's probably shows how poorly the Bears were playing last week, JJ McCarthy looked terrible.
Yeah.
He's really struggling at the minute. So, I don't think they're going to make a move at quarterback just yet for Carson Wentz, but he makes a lot of the Vikings players probably less enticing to be sort of looking at.
Correct. And as someone who drafted Addison coming off the suspension, my plan is to try and trade him before he comes back from the suspension because, I don't – if people are basing his value on how he performed last year, I think he's going to be valued higher than when he comes back. And if the volume's going to be like this, it's going to be a bit of a struggle. But someone who should be going up in the ranks, I think, Jordan Mason, because Jones looks like he's done the old K or the hamstring.
Yeah, made of clay.
So we're not sure how long he's going to be out, but it's actually funny. The man in our league, he owns both Mason and Jones, so I guess
he's got a few handcuffs.
Got himself cuffed there.
Yeah. They're just a team, the Vikings. They're well coached. They've got stars everywhere, but that quarterback position just makes them a really hard team to sort of trust. Like Jefferson was their best, obviously, receiver, and what do you have? 6 targets. He's just it's hard to trust him.
So you were watching the game. I've only seen a few highlights. Was Atlanta's defense just all over him, or?
Yeah, well, they Atlanta went out and brought in 3 pass rushers. They drafted 2 and picked up Leonard Floyd in free agency.
Yep.
So they were just after him, but he's probably not quick enough to work it out. Like obviously, if you're rushing the passer, they weren't just bringing 4 the whole time. They were bringing 5, even 6. Yeah. So that means that Jefferson must be getting one-on-ones, and they weren't using him enough. And the couple of times they did, obviously he made some bigger plays, which why it got to 11.
Yeah.
But I think while JJ McCarthy's the quarterback, until he proves us wrong, I think they're probably a team that you want to be avoiding.
So we can have a quick look in the next. They got the Bengals, so that's obviously a bad defense. Pittsburgh, and then Cleveland, and then the bye. So that's actually 3 really nice matchups.
The one thing I would say though is that with those teams being probably better matchups, they might run the ball a bit more because they might be in front. So Mason was probably someone that you'd be keen to get a hold of.
Yeah.
But I don't think the passing stuff's going to get any better.
Okay. Yeah. I did have him as a smoky coming into the year as my quarterback 12, McCarthy, but
I don't think he wasn't a great passer in college anyway.
Well, he was a handoff merchant. I just thought in that system they will bring him up to the level.
Well, he's a good coach, Kevin O'Connell. I mean, he's turned a few formerly poor quarterbacks into good ones. Sam Darnold's gone off and done some. Obviously, had a good season at the Vikings. Now he's at the Seahawks and he's looking good. And Danny Dimes was there as the backup last year, and he's gone off to play at Indy and he looks good. So maybe he turns it around. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't think he looks very good at the minute.
And then lastly, at the time position, Hopkinson, another guy similar to Laporta, both Taff and I.
Yeah.
We weren't high on him this year, and it's looking the same as what we said. It's just the volume is not going to be there with both Jefferson. Obviously, Addison's not there yet, and that's just going to dilute it even more.
He's one bloke that you'd be looking at if if they pulled the trigger and they brought Carson Wentz in to start, he has a history of throwing the ball to the tight end. So if that happened, then you'd be really looking to get a hold of Hockenson. But at the moment, probably not ideal.
I don't see him pulling that trigger. Do you?
Not yet.
It'd have to be.
It might be in a couple of weeks.
It'd have to be 8 weeks in, I reckon. If it's still this poor.
They've got a very good team. You don't want to waste it. So maybe it happens after 4 or 5 weeks, but time will tell.
Okay, so that's the last game. So we'll move into some waiver claims now. Okay, yeah. So final part of the show, some waiver claims. So we've both got a couple of guys. So as we said, Franklin for Denver is probably my number one guy.
Yeah.
If he's going to be the wide receiver 2 there, I think it's a very good role. 9 targets last week. If he can average at least 5 to 6, he could have a safe floor of 10 points. The next guy is probably.
I really like De'Ami Brown. I think he could be the genuine number 2 at the Jags. I know you've got
Hunter.
Your man Hunter, but
that's our number 3.
I think he's sort of taken a little bit just to get in there, get used to the speed, the physicality of the league. So I think De'Ami Brown's definitely someone I'd be looking at, especially with BTJ probably struggling to get into the season. So he's definitely someone I'd be keen on.
Yep. And then the other guy you just mentioned, Tootin.
Yep.
I think if it's not Franklin, he would be my number 1 actually, because he looked really good this week. The 15 points. You're gonna have to spend a big fab. I've seen a league on YouTube. Someone spent $93 of $100 on him. That's huge numbers.
Running backs on waivers are always at a premium because they're very hard to come across, and there's only so many of them.
Correct. Yeah. So thinking about it, he's probably actually my number 1. And then lastly, there was one other guy.
I've got Thornton on here.
Thornton,
I know he might not be on a lot of other people's list. He is a bit of boom or bust, but if you're someone who's maybe not got the fab dollars to spend, or if you're just in a when it goes to the order on who's worst to best, Thornton might be someone that if you need to fill up a spot, he's not the worst player, and like I said, he's getting a lot of the deep ball use. So I think once that connection comes a little bit better, and Pat Mahomes, he obviously must trust him. I think he could be someone that'd be handy to have.
Yeah,
especially through those bye rounds.
Yeah, and my other guy was if you need a tight end. My number 1 pick is probably going to be Zach Ertz.
Yep.
I think he's going to have a very safe floor of about 10 points per week, and that's all you need as a tight end to be competitive. Yeah. But that's it. That's the end of the week to review. Thank you, Darryl, for joining us, and we should announce the first ever sponsor actually of the pod. Darryl Lock Painting.
Dale Lock Painting, maybe. Dale Lock Painting. We do it all. So, you can give us a bell.
Yeah. So if you want the second best painter in the marsh to do your house, give us an email and we'll pass on the information.
No worries. And maybe next week if we can get another sponsor to get Kale a real jersey, that'd be handy. That'd be very handy.
Yeah. Budget cuts, we're not quite there yet.
No worries.
This is real, mate. Come on.
Yeah, sure.
All good. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you back next week. And we won't have this mug. We'll have Taff back in the hot seat.
Thank fuck.